Hi, my name is Alex. I'm French, and I've been working as a model for the last 18 years for some of the biggest brands in the world, such as L'Oreal, Alfa Romeo, GQ, Vogue, Chanel, you name it. I'm making this video today because I want to talk about modeling and the industry of modeling, because I feel like not a lot of people know exactly how it works. And I will be making more videos where I give tips on how to diet, how to succeed at castings and stuff like that. But for now, I just want to start off with this first video by talking about my story, how I got started and how everything happened for me. So for me, basically at a very young age, I started doing acrobatics, gymnastics and parkour and all that stuff. So I was athletic. I even started a YouTube channel with a friend back in 2001 or 2. And already it gave me because we were making videos, so it gave me a sense of how to, looking at yourself, improving, trying to get better, and how to make things look good on the camera. And so it gave me that sense already early on of like aesthetics and also just pure entertainment, because I wanted to entertain people. And then I wanted to be an actor. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. I wanted to do acting. I wanted to do modeling. I wanted a little bit to be the center of attention. Let's just say how it is. And so basically, I moved to Paris and I went into an agency, and because my story is not like somebody discovered me. I don't have that story, unfortunately. I walked into an agency and I went to see the top agency in Paris, and I said, "Can I be a model?" And they said no. They said no. They said, "We're going to think about it," and then they said no. So the "we're going to think about it" part made me a little bit already, I was, okay, it's not a straight up no right away. So I was like, okay. I went to see the number 2 agency in Paris, and they say, "We're going to think about it." And they came back and said, "We're going to give you a shot. We're going to see how it goes." And very quickly, I got lucky, I have to say, because they were looking for, the first week, they were looking for a model who could dance, and I can't really dance. And so basically what I did was that I said, "I can't dance," and they were like, "Oh, okay." I said, "But I can do acrobatics." And they're like, "Oh, is there anything you can do in a studio that doesn't take a lot of space and everything?" I said, "Yeah." I did a backflip, then I did a back handspring, and then eventually I made a mistake of showing too many moves, hard moves, but I didn't realize that I was going to have to do them many, many times for the picture to be perfect and everything. So I chose the one-handed back handspring. I almost broke my shoulder because I had to do it like 30, 40 times. But so I got the job, I did that, I was super happy, and they said they were going to pay me like, I think, between 5,000 and 10,000 euros. And I was so happy. But what I didn't know was that in this industry, you only get paid a few months after it came out. And it wasn't going to come out within the next 6 months or a year. So I was like, and I was like, okay, I'm going to have to get a job. But I need to get a job that I can do, I need to have free time to do castings, because they were sending me on castings regularly. But I needed to pay the rent. And I was living with a friend on the floor, put a little futon on the floor, and I was sleeping in his apartment. And I was paying $200 a month, I remember. And then I found this survey calls, like statistics on the phone, and you call and you just talk to people that don't want to talk at all. And you just bother them with questions about phones, and are you happy with your phone? Are you happy with this? Are you happy with that? I was doing that, but it was like part-time. So I had time to do my castings. I started doing my castings, but unfortunately my agency didn't push me too much. They were sending me for these jobs that I wasn't booking, but they weren't sending me to a lot of castings, and I didn't know how to, do an audition or a casting. So I was like, you know what? At the time there was no social media, believe it or not. It was MySpace. It was 2006 or 7. And I went online and I was looking for castings, like for beginners. And I ended up finding some jobs, and it was always very bad quality jobs, like pajama, catalog, or whatever. But I was happy, to be chosen. And I had a small rent, so I didn't need to make a ton of money, I was young, didn't have any attachment, nothing. And eventually, in one of those jobs, I found a job for like e-commerce, like a website of clothes. And I started doing that job, and they were paying me $100 a day, but they were booking me 5 days a week. So I was happy. I was extremely happy. And then one day they said, it's too much work. We need to book another male model on top of you. So we have two. And I was like, all right, as long as he doesn't take my money. You know what I mean? And so I saw this guy. He came, and that's one of the luckiest moments of my life, because this guy came and he said, you know what? I'm a model. But he was older than me. I was 22 and he was like 27, 28. And he said, you know what? Modeling is okay for me, but I'm thinking about becoming an agent, and I want to be an agent. And I think I want to start my agency, and I would like you to be one of my first models, my first model. I was like, hell yeah. And he started explaining to me that he used to model in Asia, in China, Japan, Thailand, the States, Germany. And I was just like, what? He said, yeah, I can make it happen for you too. I have the connections. Except that instead of using my connections as a model, I'm going to be using them as an agent and booking you. And I'm going to find I need 3, 4, 5 other models, and we can get started. And very quickly, like within a week, he found other models. And he put me, I remember, on a fashion show in Paris, and he put all his models because he had a lot of connections. He was giving me jobs left and right. I was so happy because he believed in me so much. And he said to me, I think Asia would be perfect for you. You have the look for Asia. I used to live there. You should try it. All right. I was like, hell yeah. Send me to Asia. He said, I said, how does that work? He said, I want to make sure they accept you. And if they accept you, what they do is they pay for your flight, pay for your apartment over there. I was like, really? And he said, and then we do, you do castings every day. They pick you up with a van, go do castings all day long. And then if they choose you, is because they know the market and they know that they're going to make money from you. So they advance the money, and then they will pay themselves back with the money at the end from all the jobs you did. I was like, free experience. Hell yeah. I said, okay, let's do it. Next thing you know, he says, how about next month? I was like, really? Next month? Hell yeah. And I went to China. I went to Beijing, and I started working there, and it was amazing. And I started working really well too. Like I was the number two model in the agency. I was booking all the jobs. There was another guy whose name was also Alex. He was Brazilian, blonde with blue eyes. He was working more than me. He was booking everything, this guy. But eventually I ended up staying 4 or 5 months. 4 months, I think. I made friends. I met amazing people. I discovered China. I couldn't believe it. And at the end of the trip, he was like, all right, did you like it? I was like, hell yeah. He said, where do you want to go? I would recommend Thailand. I said, Thailand it is. And I went to Thailand, same thing. And I ended up staying 3 years there, modeling, because I ended up falling in love with the culture and the country in general. And I was working so well. The pay was less, but the cost of living was less too. I was so happy there. I swear to God, because in the beginning, I was always saying I want to move to the States. And when I started succeeding in modeling, I was like, I want to move to the States. But then I fell in love so much with Asia and Thailand that I was just like, I'm not going anywhere, I'm staying there. But then eventually, after booking all these good jobs, but it was very, very Asian market. I don't know, it's a different type of job, a different type of market. It's a bit more cheesy and everything. I got tired of it, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna move back to France, Paris, and I'm gonna see if I can make it as a model in Paris now that I have the credentials a bit more. And I did, move back to Paris. This agent booked me into an amazing agency. I started working well, and at some point I decided that I was ready for the States, because I started working well in Paris, and I was like, this is a big market, this is Paris, so if I make it here, I could do it in the States. Everybody said, yeah, you know what, but the visa is really hard to get, and the competition, look at the people over there, and I was just like, really? Like, I had doubts, but the fact that some people were like doubting me, I was like, well, everybody was saying that about Asia and about Paris, and I did it, so let me try. And I had to do letters. The lawyer wrote letters, and you have to make them your best clients, 11 clients total. It has to be of really good clients, very famous brands that have to sign these letters and basically say that you're an amazing model and that you've been doing amazing work and you're ready for the big league. In 3 weeks, I had my visa. So I did it, went there, lived in New York, yeah, that was New York first. Loved it, did a lot of campaigns. I started working really well. I was with IMG New York there. Couldn't believe that I was with such a big agency. Then I went to Los Angeles and Miami at the end for a total of like 7 years or 8 years total in the States. Then I had a kid. I will explain that later, but I had a kid and I ended up moving back to Paris. But within my time in the States, I booked some big jobs. Under Armour, World Campaign, Macy's, TV commercials. Like I did it like I think 16 times. And when I came back to Paris with these credentials, then, and also I looked older because I always looked young, too young. And then they were looking for men, you know, like people that looked like men. And I started looking a little older. I was 35 when I came back to Paris, 36, something like that. And I eventually booked my first car commercial for Alfa Romeo. Alfa Romeo worldwide in the movie theaters, on TV in every country. It was amazing. And then from that, I got L'Oreal TV commercial worldwide. And then I did it 3 times. Some of them haven't come out yet. And I also did Chanel TV commercial, perfume. And so basically, it's pretty crazy when I look back on how I started and how people were saying that I couldn't do it. And I had my doubts too. And being turned down by agencies, people saying that I was not tall enough because I'm just barely 6'1", 184 centimeters. And then now, because I know everybody in Paris now in this industry and in the States too. And so when people talk to me, agencies and big clients, they always talk to me like, yeah, but Alex, come on, you're you, so of course you booked that job. And I'm like, what do you mean you're you? Like I used to be like, people were like, you can't book these jobs. But as soon as you book them, people look at you like, well, of course. I mean, so you have to believe in yourself first. That's true what they say. Truly believe in yourself because it's really a question of vision. Like if you see it, it really sounds cheesy, but if you see it and you believe in yourself, like I did in the beginning, you don't need to believe in yourself like 1,000%, but at least have a vision. And like, it could happen. If you think it could happen and you keep pushing, it can happen. Now, this is my story. I will be making more videos. I will explain all different types of things people don't know about this industry. So if you like this video, please, it's my first video about this. Subscribe, like, and thank you so much for watching.